today is about rapport, your relationship with yourself. So the question was, or the three questions you need to answer. Where were you? And where are you now? And where you want to be? About your relationship with yourself.
Oh, you wrote that. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about your relationship with yourself today?
I'm absolutely sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely much lighter now because today's Anna helped me to put out a few fires. Because all of you are in this container because you want the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be honest. Where are you today with yourself in terms of your relationship with yourself? And knowing how far you have came is important.
Yeah.
Okay. Bridging the gap. But I'm confident to tell you all, we still have a long road to go, including myself. So honestly answer this question. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to share, but here we are.
Oh, okay.
Living true to you is having one another to support one another, that we stand by you.
Well,
No matter where you're coming from, we're here for one another.
Well, I can start. I'm okay. Okay, prior, where was I? My ego, my pride, was always in survival mode, and I'm not arrogant by nature, but I come across as arrogant, so work that one out.
Anyone think that she's not arrogant?
No, I don't confuse confidence and knowing what I'm talking about with arrogance.
You look at his face. Am I serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Tamara. It's like, oh, Catherine, you got you. Yes, you got her.
That's okay. To where I've been is learning to know that I don't need to be in survival mode anymore. That's still that's still, you've still got snippets that where it comes out, right? And that's just triggers of things. As long as you can identify the triggers, then you know what you have to do to stop that from coming out. And there's nothing wrong with pride, like pride in house, pride of children, but pride when it interferes with you as a person, that's effing like bad. I sat down and asked my children, I always ask them where I'm at. My son says that my voice is softer, the tone is softer, and that I am he's really happy that I'm working on me. I'm finding me. I'm not lost. I'm just calming down. I'm finding my soul and my spirit and my strength in the light. So that's where I'm at, and I'm heading towards the best version of myself. Got a long way to go, but hey, I'm getting there.
Okay. One question for you, Anna.
Go.
You mentioned pride. Yep, you could be pride of I know what you meant by for your children, but what is one thing pride been doing to you, stopping you to do then?
Doing what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Pride in knowing that I'm the person who earns the 7 figures. I'm the person that goes out and makes the pride, I'm the breadwinner, I can do it all and be a mother and do all that. But pride gets in the way of you because you don't look at yourself. You're looking at the things. You're looking at, I've never, I have to say, I'd like to say I was a child, but I was always responsible, accountable, looking after others, even as a 4-year-old, looking after a baby, things like that. But I found that, that's where pride for me was. Like, I'm earning that money, and now, although I'm earning money, I'm earning it differently, and I'm not in the field of expertise where I am. I'm not floundering, but I've taken my skill sets and put them into other things. So, you know, that is paying out. That's paying off. It's taken me a little while to get there, but I'm getting there. And I've had to let my pride go. Otherwise, if I'd have taken up the post that was offered to me, I would never see you guys. I wouldn't be where I am. That's a 120-hour day, 120-hour week at a job. Sorry.
20-hour day. My God, woman.
Mate, I don't even know what
Like
time
it's
it
done.
is right now. My daughter had to tell me it was Thursday. Because yesterday I missed out a day because I wasn't 100%. So that's because I'm going to the next level spiritually. And what happens is our frequencies are trying to readjust themselves so they can get into that.
I noticed you're not coughing as much this afternoon.
Absolutely not. Isn't it amazing what happens when you get a clean house?
Mm.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but thank you.
The pride is not looking at what you own and what your ability could make, but also you've been asking for help,
Well, that's
which
different.
you have not done before, isn't it?
No, never. I
Mm.
haven't. I've never reached out and said, can someone please help me?
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I do it. Now I go, hey, like Tamara, need help, honey. I know there's something here. I'm not an expert in this. I need help. Or how, to you or anybody that is, better at something than I am or knows something more than I do. I've got my strengths. People got their strengths, and somewhere along the line we can share.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Good. Because having pride is really stopping us to get to where we meant to be.
Yeah, you have to let it go. You have to, when I did that, but the breakthrough and retreat, that really helped to identify what you tend to hide with pride.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and yeah, just different. Pride and ego can destroy a person's life, can destroy other people's lives, and doesn't help the person grow. And I never thought I would be like that, but when I look back, yeah, I've had that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or being the pretender, I'm fine, when actually you're not fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Not you, but like I'm saying,
No, yeah,
any one of us have been.
No, I get that. I get that. There's a lot of people that say they're okay when they're not okay. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a big one for that.
Yeah. But
Oh, I wish I can slap you for that then now. No, I'm kidding. Go on, Tamara. Oh no, Anna O'Brien. Come on.
I'm not going to. Oh, you want me to slap Tamara?
Hey?
You want me to slap Tamara? There we go.
Yeah. No, that's something, for a long time I've done, oh yeah, I'm okay. I don't need any help. I'm great. And that's that whole pretender and that pride of I can't admit that I'm not okay. If I admit there's something wrong, I've failed at something. I've failed at not taking care of myself. I've failed at not taking care of my family. I've failed at not being the person I thought I should be.
The rescuer.
Hmm.
The survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're everything. I know. Yeah. But
fear is worse than death.
Yeah.
The feeling of fear is worse than death.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that's a funny one because I'm not fearful. There's not a lot I'm fearful of. The only thing I'm fearful of is being penniless. That's my biggest fear.
Scarcity, honey. Scarcity. It's
scarcity.
but you don't need to be.
No, I know I don't need to be, but that's my biggest fear.
Understood. Let's acknowledge it and then go back to, because it comes from when you were a child and your mother, I remember you saying. Hi, Linda.
Hi. Hello, Linda.
I'm late. Hi, Linda.
Good.
But
Hi.
we've gone through all your financials, honey. We don't need to do it here, but
No.
you know you're in a good place. So just
Yeah.
there's just a little few bumps in the road, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
And you got a girlfriend, for Christ's sake, that just throws money at you. Can I, like I said to you, could she adopt me, please?
You can't take her off me. She's mine.
She's
I
jealous.
didn't say take her off. Did I say the word take? We can share.
Relax, Anna. If you want to find a sugar mommy, I'm sure you can find one. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No. Too tired. Too tired. Ah,
Too
let's go.
tired. Now someone like, okay. Then who has been a pleaser here?
Oh, haven't we all?
I think we all have been.
I think that's probably part of my issue in past. I've got here, where were you, is perfectionist, workaholic, survivor, always in survival mode. I was unhappy. I was stuck in toxic relationship. I lived in shame, lived in scarcity, which was true. I didn't have money. More authentic now, more I'm kinder to myself. I don't push myself so hard anymore like I once did. I'm able to take failure now, where once upon a time failure was would stop me, and it would emotionally affect me, where now failure is feedback, and it's a real good tool to actually gauge how well you're doing. If you do fail, it doesn't mean that it should stop you. It just means that you reassess and then get back up and try again. So I think that resilience is grown from that past, and it's made me stronger and courageous, and I'm more aware of myself, like my emotional intelligence, much more intuitive, because now haven't got so many blocks. I'm more clear. I'm able to handle stuff, so I'm more present. So, just recently would be the relationship, leaving Sam, ending that. Obviously had with great support around me, with both my brothers, Anna and Tamara, and some other close friends of mine that have been very supportive from afar, because geographically they're not close. And recently losing my brother. I mean, I've gone through, not saying that I haven't questioned myself. I've actually looked at it through the lens of, I'm able to more look into my life rather than, so what's just recently happened. I guess I'm able to be the observer in my own journey, if that makes sense. So I'm able to look at things a lot more objectively, and clearer about what I want, what I need, and who I am. And in a lot of this, what I found is that all the work I've been doing on myself, and this journey has, not just started with Catherine. The journey started way before Catherine came on, but people have been presented to me in such a way that it's helped me to grow and develop into the woman that I'm becoming. Not that there was anything wrong with the woman before, but the woman who I am today is a far cry from who I was 10 years ago.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Evie. But let's focus on a pleaser. Let's learn this together. Okay. As a pleaser, how did you identify you as a pleaser?
I guess that would be because I was always trying to put everybody else first. I'd be putting everyone else first and worrying about their needs, taking care of others before I would take care of myself.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. I would like to have someone else to share. How did you overcome not being a pleaser? Anyone?
I acknowledge that I was a pleaser, and made a firm decision to go on putting myself first, which was the reason I ended my first marriage, and then reaffirmed it when I ended my last relationship, which, because I'd slipped back into being bit of a pleaser with that second relationship. So there were just things that had happened, and it came to light, maybe it was intuitive, that I was pleasing more than I was putting myself first. So I made a declaration and turned that around.
Great, thank you. Good. So who is here to vow that they will stop the pleaser in themselves?
We started.
You already have. Yeah.
I'm still learning.
It's a
You're a
process,
mother.
Anne-Marie.
That's
Yeah.
hard.
It's a journey.
Mm.
It
It's
is.
a journey. Every level you go to, you recognize there's a pleaser in you,
Yeah.
but be
And
aware.
it's very uncomfortable in yourself to move from one emotional state to another emotional state. So it does take some effort and some commitment and some realization to do that. And sometimes it's difficult to do just by yourself. Sometimes you need help.
Yeah.
Also, too, sometimes being a people pleaser is a survival skill. It's one of those things where we've done it because that's how we survived. That's how we got through things.
Absolutely.
That's how we made ourselves feel either safe or worthy. Is, you know, the only time we could do that is if we were making sure everyone else was happy
Yeah.
and pleasing everyone else and doing what everyone else wanted us to do. So breaking can be really hard. Absolutely really hard.
And it's old vibes and whatever from, you know, thousands and thousands of years ago, because if we didn't look after each other then the tribe were threatened and the group was threatened. So we're very much, you know, that's instilled in our human makeup, is to be looking after everybody else. We just sort of were hoping that everybody else is looking after us as well, but that doesn't always happen.
Absolutely. And I think there's a balance to it all, isn't there?
Mm.
Yeah, because you know, there are takers in the world and there are givers in the world, and there's nothing wrong with being a giver. I tell you, I'd rather be the giver than taker. Stop it, Anna. Don't even go there, Anna. But in the scheme of things, for personality, you know, there are some people out there that just take. But that's their journey, I get. But, you know, it doesn't always mean that if you're a caring person that you're out to people please. So there's a balance, yeah?
And sometimes you have to take to make that balance as well, because sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, there's something, we notice how we're all identifying and we acknowledge. We come from huntress. We're a huntress. We take care of our pride.
that's right.
We take care of our people. We take care of our families. We take care of people who are weaker than us, right? So this little bunny, when my kids stopped being teens and they were starting to go into uni, or when I didn't kick my daughter out then, but you know, she could look after herself. My son, I looked after him when he was in uni, but you know, that was okay. I went out and bought myself a sports car. Do you know how much flack I got from my mother and her family? My uncles were really wrapped, right? The aunties were the bitches, right? What about buying another house for your children? So your son can have a house and your daughter can have a house. And I go, and what about the person here that's worked, I don't know, guys, can I just say, 25 fucking years raising a family? I don't want to see that woman, the old lady that she finally got her sports car, barely move a gear. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person driving the car now. And when I get into the other car, I want to be driven in the car that I choose.
Driving Miss Daisy.
That's right. I want to be that. And it's, you know, I'm not letting my pride into that. But hey, that was for me. All the things that I didn't get for myself, all the things that I missed out on, that was for me. But
social pressures.
That's right. So, you know, I broke the mold with that. So when I'm talking, it's not like I haven't done something for myself, but I'm very careful. I was very careful where I spent my money. That was important to me. Shoes were important to me. I had to dress properly. I had to look the part. because I was corporate. But I wasn't, you know what I mean, ostentatious and then, you know, throwing my money everywhere. God. Yeah. I didn't spend any
Yeah.
money on underwear, I'll tell you that now. That really upset my
well.
mum.
We know.
I know.
Okay. All right. So I'll leave the thought with you guys is what are the signs of you going backward, being the pleaser in a different situation? Okay. All right. Procrastinator. Procrastination. Who's here?
God.
Yes, the one who covered her face. Speak. I don't care your children screaming in the background.
No, I'm in my office. I'm like the biggest procrastinator.
I don't know. Why do you see yourself being procrastinator?
Mm.
I see a
So I-
garden in the backyard and I see stuff happening in the kitchen and I see jars being filled and I see you making things and doing a degree and taking care of 7 children. I think you're allowed to occasionally turn around and go, well, fuck it, I don't have to do something. I'll get to it. And just a little thing.
Okay, let her speak. What is the thought of that she is a big procrastinator?
Okay.
I just think the house is the biggest procrastination. The way I see it is I just need to, like, remember, I can't remember that girl's name, but she used to be in the group too, and she called it the 5-second rule.
Emma.
Emma. Yeah. And I have found that actually does work. But yeah, I think it's just the whole, when I tidy the house, it just gets trashed again.
Why?
And
No
then-
kidding. 7 kids.
You have children, it's going to get trashed.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I know, it just leads to other things. Like I don't want to be the mum that yells at her kids all the time. I don't want to be the one that upsets them all the time, even though obviously they're going to get upset with me, but I don't want to move into a violent situation, because that's what I got when I grew up.
Yeah, but there's a
Mm.
difference between being a caring mum and discipline and teaching and educating them, and being abusive and aggressive
Mm.
and nasty, which I don't think you are, and I don't think you ever could be, because it's not you. You know that's something you don't want to be in. You know that's a space you don't want to be in.
not in your nature.
No,
Getting there.
Not, yeah.
I get frustrated, but I've sort of taught myself to breathe and just piss off for 5 minutes, so I'm away from them.
Well,
Okay.
if you don't get frustrated, you're not being a human being, woman. Every mother gets frustrated with their bloody kids, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay, good. All right, there's many layers here, but as Anna said, there's always something happening in your life.
Mm.
Just think about driving kids to school, 7 kids, not just one school. How many school? And childcare?
3.
Yeah. How much energy or transportation that alone take up? Then
Well, it
you need
used to take a lot. It doesn't anymore.
Well, even 10, 15 minutes is still take energy. The road aren't kind to us nowadays.
So what is the one thing that you've learned in the last year
Mm,
in your life, honey?
mm.
You've learned what about you?
That I'm very capable of doing things.
Yeah.
That I am a great mum.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, there's lots. But
Yeah, and that
Okay.
should make what is a priority. What's the priority for those children?
it's to be looked after, to be fed, to be clothed, to be
There you go.
housed,
That's
washed.
right. That's right. So
Hmm.
where does housework come into it?
That's on the back burner.
Yeah, but is that
Exactly.
procrastination?
Oh, yes and no.
There you
Yes
go.
and no.
Well, then I'll put this away for you. Think about it. being a good mom, well, let's say put it another way. Having a tidy house, does that mean that you are a good mom?
No.
No, like I see it as if my kids are happy, I'm happy, and really the rest just doesn't even
Yeah.
matter.
So you say being a good mom means the kids are happy, you are happy, that's all you are after.
I'm a good mum even when my kids are not happy
Yeah,
because I try and help them in other ways.
Yeah, because I remind Alex, like we have fun, you know, Calvin and I would jump in. He bought a bucket of chicken or KFC come home because someone picked him up. And are you going to share it? He didn't want to. So I took it and ran into Calvin's room, and Calvin and I having it, and he's stopping us, and Calvin and I was tackling him that no tomorrow. So we have fun. All right. But when we are in arguments, when we are in a difficult situation, I remind him that, yes, I would love to be your friend, but here in this situation, I need to be your mom. So we're still at the adult in the relationship, even though you might have your teenager, but at the end, we need to make the tough call for them.
Yeah.
But you are describing yourself, oh, I'm a procrastinator. Because I thought, with your study, you don't really. But what is
I don't feel like procrastinating there. I feel like I work better under pressure. So it's not so much a procrastination, even though I know I should start my project earlier, but I just work well under pressure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's where we get the phone calls on a Sunday. On Sunday.
Oh no, Catherine, have you seen my email? I said, what email?
But also
Yes.
too, it can be like, rather than, if you think about it with your study, you say you work better under pressure. But also too, if you're like me, if you do it too early and you do it too far out, you'll think about it too much and you'll overthink it, and you'll, put yourself into that space where you go, can I do better? Can I make it better? And, you make yourself, puts that much pressure on yourself. Whereas if you leave it and work better under pressure, it's just that that then you're just going to do what you know, and you're not going to overthink it, and you're not going to change it, and you're not going to do it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
Is that good? Okay, so who here thinks that they are real procrastinator?
I know I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So the stage is to whom? Who is ready to share?
To Evie and Denise.
Mm-hmm.
The Evie hand
So-
slightly come up, and I went,
No,
Yeah.
hand went up. I'm well aware of my foibles or foibles.
Mhm.
However you say it. Well aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
So
procrastination, what do you do? So I don't know who wants to. Denise, do you want to share? I see everybody here has some form of procrastination.
Yeah, I mean, I although I'm writing lists and whatever, and I'm very much aware of, importance and urgency of tasks and whatever. Even if something is really important and is urgent, if I don't really want to do it, I don't do it first. And that, to me, is what procrastination is about. It's about not doing the things that you need to do first and getting them over and done with, and then doing the other stuff and then going, oh shit, I didn't get time for that today, I'll have to do it tomorrow, when it really should have been done yesterday. So to me, that's what procrastination is about, and I do that on occasions, less now than I used to, but I'm still aware of it. And then I probably I don't tear myself up over it as much these days. I just do a reality check and go, like, you should have done that, and it needs to be the first thing done tomorrow, and usually that's what happens. But yeah, procrastination is getting better for me, as in not doing so much of it, and identifying it more. And I think we're probably all guilty of that at some stage of doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's no one here in this house that's not procrastinated in some shape or form.
Yeah. And it can be, you know, things like not doing the washing and ironing, cooking and cleaning that Anne-Marie was talking about. But there's some things that are more important, you know, that sort of thing will get done eventually and people won't die from that. But and you know, some of the things that I procrastinate over, I won't die from either, but some of them are very important, you know, maybe missing paying a bill because I did something else, or, you know, and that becomes costly, or missing making a phone call for something that I really should have done. You're missing the opportunity to get an appointment for something, you know, all those sorts of things, or misreading some information before you do something and study, you know, not actually getting online at that time that I should have to listen to something, you know, that's more important, I guess, you know.
Yep. So what are the causes of procrastinations?
You know, catch up all the time and feeling, you know, rotten about yourself, and not being in pursuit of joy. You're in pursuit of stuff you should have done, you know. Yeah, it's
Okay.
a different path that you should go down than the
Okay.
one that you were choosing to go down.
Because the cause, one of the main cause for us to be procrastinated for whatever reason is the perfectionism in us. Oh, not good enough. But if I don't do it, I won't know that I'm not good enough.
I find it hard to make the first step. And if I don't do that, I haven't tried the 5-second rule, but it makes sense. If I don't jump on it and push it to the side because other things are a higher priority at that time, I tend to go, it's now slipping away too far. Oh, I'll get to it. Oh, I should do it now, but oh, I don't know how to take that first step. And sometimes it's a matter of having or asking for help to say, look, I just need to be shown. I need to be able to take that first step. I need a kickstart for the first step. And that's what I've realized, that it's not so much perfectionism. It's a overwhelming doubt in my own ability that shuts me down. And so once I actually get a snippet of how it's done and how easy it is, then I jump on it like, yeah, I don't know if that makes
So
sense.
what are the causes of overwhelming then, Evie? When you say you actually just being overwhelming is not about perfectionism. You feel overwhelmed, that's why you're not starting it.
Yeah,
What's the
overwhelmed.
causes? What's the
I
causes of
don't
being
know
overwhelmed?
what the cause of overwhelm is. Maybe it's because I take so much on. If in work, you should see my plate. In work, there's it's not even perfectionism anymore, but in work is, you know, I set high standards and raise a high bar, but it's easy. So, and I like the challenge. I like to be challenged, and I put a lot of effort into the full-time job. I don't know, the overwhelm can be, I don't know what the overwhelm is. Is it overwhelm? I ask this question a lot because I procrastinate a lot. Yeah, I don't know if it's overwhelm.
Overwhelm can be seen as, it's, how do I do this? I don't know how to do this. This is too much. I don't know the first step. I don't know which step to take. I don't know which direction to take. I don't know. And we go into that spiral. So that's what that overwhelm is.
Yeah, but what causes that overwhelm?
Insecurity. You're not sure. You're not sure about yourself. You're not sure. What if I make a mistake? What if I fail? What if I do this? So we become overwhelmed by that. And
Right.
we get caught in this space where I don't know about this. I'm not sure about this. What if I fail? What if I don't do it right? What if I get it wrong?
Right. Yeah, right. So I can get that with the students. So I help them with their overwhelm for the same purpose. Well, a lot of that is it's something new. They're learning something new,
and it's scary.
And it creates the overwhelm. So therefore, they can't think, they can't process. It keeps them frozen. But once they're shown and actually shown the steps to take, I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I've actually got to get in and do to learn.
Yep.
You can
So what
read
Tamara
it
just shared just now then how far off is that actually perfectionism? Scared not to be good enough to start a new task, to
Probably
start something
both.
new, learning something new.
It's probably both perfectionism and overwhelm.
Sometimes I feel that if I do something and I don't necessarily suffer from not having to do, knowing how to do it, but that if I actually get it done, then that proves that I am capable of doing it and I can move on, which you might think is, well, that's good. But sometimes I just feel that that is like a direction that I'm not used to going into. So it can be quite fearful to be evolving sometimes into something else that I don't necessarily feel I'm ready for either, or that I might be doubting that I can do or want to do or need to do or whatever. It's just, yeah, kind of like a fear of success sort of thing, which is a real thing,
So
by the way.
glass ceiling. So yeah, I
Yeah,
get that. So I'll get, actually that's, wow, thank you. That's actually more to it. So I'll get to a point, and I've done it all my life, I guess, too. I'll get to a point, even in my careers, in some of the jobs I've had, where I'll get to a certain level, and then if to step over that bar where I know is, I tend to self-sabotage, and it'll come crashing down. So
yeah.
it is, it's not actually seen. Yeah, so it's raising the ceiling. It's raising that glass ceiling.
Anna, is there something you want to share? Yes, Anna O'Brien.
When you feel overwhelmed, right? You know that sometimes just stepping away and having that breath, Anne-Marie, fresh air, or reaching out. It's okay if you don't know. It's okay if you don't have the answers. It's okay to ring up and say, hey, feeling a little bit overwhelmed here. I'm working on this same thing, or I'm working on this. Not too sure how to approach it, you know. That's the one thing, and I have to say, guys, I think I used the word overwhelmed in 15 years twice. However, my MD used to use it every day. He used to say, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed, because it was too much for him. Whereas me, when I said I was overwhelmed, I fucking knew it was going to be like shit happening. So it's acknowledging that you are. And if you are overwhelmed, pick up the phone. Ask someone to help. Let somebody hear you out. I just want to whinge. I just want to sound you. Can I use you as a soundboard? I'm a little bit overwhelmed here. This is what's happening. And then suddenly when you get that clarity and you go, well, okay, so what have you done so far? Nothing. I don't know where to start. Okay, let's go through it then.
Yeah, well, that's it. So if, with good support and mentorship, overwhelm is easy to overcome, but you've got to you do have to have that support, because sometimes you know, the phones and everything get in the way. You're not actually thinking properly.
Yeah, and you're right, Evie, you're right. But how many times have I said to somebody, if you don't know right now, this is now, not before. Right? Now you have people to reach out to. Okay.
Well, today I did exactly what you said then, and I do it often. I actually went, I need to go for a walk. So I went for a walk, got my fresh air, came back. I didn't need to go for long. It was a 15-minute walk. It was fine. And it just rebalanced me and just refocused me. And yeah, it was a big change outside rather than inside. And I come back and went, oh, right. I wasn't even thinking about what I needed to do. I came back and I just went and just did it. So for me, that's making a difference. You know, at least some of the time, but yeah.
Yep, good. All right. Well, there's an extra overwhelm that we need to add to the P. Okay, so perfectionism, overwhelm, but it led to periodical. Periodic means, are you being consistent? Are you consistent trying new things, or you just lukewarm, 1 minute hot, 1 minute cold? I'll try something new. It's not working, put it aside. Oh, I'll try something else. It's not working. I'll go for another thing. All right. Then therefore, your nervous system will always be overwhelmed, because you just jump from one to the next, not being consistent in your pursuit of improving your stamina in uptaking challenge in your life.
Oh, is that anyone here? I think everyone here is pretty well dealing with challenges pretty face on.
I
Yeah.
think for
Yeah.
me, it's more that there are so many different things that you can use to help you out, and sometimes all the things that you want to do, there's not enough minutes in the day to do all of those. So sometimes there is a bit of that fluid sort of movement happening. Like I was drawing the other day, which I'd really like to do more of, but I don't get a chance to do that. So that was something I was doing to just relieve a bit of, or not really stress, but just to take the mind somewhere else. I'd like to do that on a daily basis, but I can't. So is that periodic sort of movement? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I think we are consistently doing the same-ish sort of stuff on the same, day in, day out sort of thing. But for me, I'm trying to add in other things at other times just to maybe mix it up a little bit.
And I'm going to ask a question here, Denise. Are you taking on too much? Are you trying to get too much achieved? Are you trying to do too much to, which can cause that overwhelm as well, that you take on too much to help people, to please people, to do what other people think you should be doing, to do what other people expect of you, or you think you have to do because of certain situations?
Oh, well, for instance, the drawing was something I wanted to do, and I wanted to take some time with a cup of tea, sit down and whatever. It was, a break from what I was doing. So no, I wasn't taking on more. It doesn't, I haven't got any pressure on myself to do that or come up with, an excellent piece of work, because it's not going to happen. No, I find that I'm taking some downtime every day, and some me time every day as well. My diary only has in it what I really want to do. The things I need to do, of course, are funny enough things that I want to do.
But
even if I say that,
have you done that?
it's an evolving thing, Tamara. So it's come from there and moving to where it is now, and I think it will become more fine-tuned as time goes on. So yeah, I mean, freely admit I'm a work in progress, but yeah, no, I don't know that I'm overdoing it myself. My study is paramount, and that's the thing that I try and focus time on. I don't using the word paramount doesn't mean that I'm fixated on it. If I don't get done what I set out for the day or for the week, then it just rolls over, and I don't, chastise myself for that. So, am I taking on too much? I don't know. I like to break it up. Like to have some recreational time, some exercise, and the study as well, and hopefully work soon. So,
Okay. So I love the question you asked yourself. I don't know. Then would you like to find out, Denise, when we tell ourselves, I don't know? How long would you like to stay in? I don't know.
Well, that's also a good question, isn't it? How long would I? Yeah, I don't know. Probably need to let that settle in the background and see what comes up in the next couple of days.
Okay. Now copy the 6P, because most of all is the pride that we will not acknowledge that whether we are pleaser, pretender, perfectionist, or anything. But this is the question you need to answer for yourself in order for you to move forward as a new version of yourself or better version of yourself from where you came from to today. Okay. If you feel called to share, you can do that in our Facebook group, because I'm sure you all have a lot to share about your experience, where you were, where you are today, and where you would like to be. Because if you're not growing, you are dying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, no pun intended, Sandal.
Yeah. So you want to die of as a person being unhappy, or you want to die of a person as like, I have no regret of my life? Okay. As Katie, what's Katie's surname? as Katie, who was a nurse who did all the survey about people on their deathbed, their most regret in life. It's not about money they didn't make.
It's about spending time with family, and they didn't spend enough time with family or friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But nothing is too late for all of us here. Okay. So any more questions? Anyone would like to share about what we did today? Because this is very important, because we need to get to know ourselves first before we could build a stronger relationship with others. Because when you don't know how to love yourself, no one could truly love who you are and build a strong relationship with you.
We haven't heard anything from Linda. How you going, babe?
I'm good, thanks. Yep. Learning heaps.
Looking to really
Procrastinated a lot. Wasn't too sure. Overthinking and trouble making decisions, and yeah. So I'm getting there. Working in progress.
Good.
I'm doing a lot more than what I used to do too.
Good. Beautiful. Okay. Love you all. We ran out of time, as some of you might have commitment with family and so forth. I will let you guys go. So the next sample event will be on the 18th of May. And you guys should receive the invite already. Okay. So take it easy. It's just a very interesting energy these few days or these few weeks. So I'll see you all. So be confident, be you.